Hello. Welcome to the Malibu Music Room. I'm John Zambetti. I put together this series because I wanted to expose you to some of the amazing talented musicians that are coming out of Malibu right now. I feel very much like Malibu is what Liverpool was in the early 60s. Bands are developing here, each with their own unique voice, and then breaking on the national and sometimes even international level. I've been in a unique position because our son Johnny is one of those musicians. And since we have a large music room, his friends tend to come over here to rehearse or maybe just jam after a show. Malibu is a unique moment in time right now musically, and I wanted to archive it as well as expose it to those of you who don't know what's happening right in your own backyard. So come on in, sit down, and welcome to the Malibu Music Room. I wonder who that could be. Why, it's Laura Peters of Psychic Love. What are the chances? Come on into the Malibu Music Room. Welcome to the Malibu Music Room.
Thank you, John.
It's so nice having you here. We've wanted you here for a long time.
It's really great to be back up here.
Of course, you're no stranger to the real-life Malibu Music Room.
No, I think I've been here many times as a kid and
got
a lot of memories.
Yeah, the disclaimer here is I've known Laura since before she was born.
Longer than me. That's like...
Her father, Frank, was our keyboard player in our college band, Sageworth.
Right.
But Laura is an entity unto herself.
Trying to be.
Well, covering all aspects. I'm sure I'm missing some, but actress, filmmaker, of course, musician, composer, and dilettante, and now entrepreneur. Of course, we always used to joke, your father and I, about how a girl who's just as handy with a jigsaw as she is, with a doll or whatever,
Well, I learned a lot of those tricks from my dad.
No, it's quite amazing. During the show, we'll pop in, show some pictures of some of the stuff you've done.
Okay.
As well as getting into a performance from you tonight with your band, with you and Max going to do some stuff from Psychic Love. So you grew up in Aspen, and you've permanently moved here, what, about 4 or 5 years ago? Or
10.
Wow.
I know. Every time somebody asks me that, I realize how long I've been here, and
wow.
I sort of...
It's just that you're so good at so many things. When people see the things that we put up here, it's really quite mind blowing.
I think I've always had a lot of different interests in terms of making things, either physically making them, fabricating, or art. And film was one thing that I really was drawn to because it has a lot of those things combined in it, sets and then music was this thing that I was sort of skirting around because it terrified me.
Really?
But it's really been the thing that I was terrified.
Really?
Yes.
Because didn't you start out, at least I knew you as starting out as a little kid on playing bass.
Yeah, I played, but I didn't play for people. Right. But it was something that I did, I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe more personal than a lot of, even acting, I feel like is less directly, I'm not as directly vulnerable.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny because I feel like playing in a band, I feel like less exposed than if I were doing an acting
It's interesting.
thing.
Yeah,
it's funny
I
you
feel
that
exactly
way.
the opposite.
So, but in school, I think we mentioned you grew up in Aspen. Did you start doing plays and stuff, or it just seems a combination of like doing that and working with your father on construction jobs is like amazing.
Right. I mean, both my parents are very creative. My mom is a great graphic designer and artist, and they were both very they tolerated my curiosity and interest in those things by letting me do them myself. So it was cool. I got to, use the tools and try and experiment with different things. And it was actually, I think, when I think about that period of time, not that there was a specific role, but my brother is a really amazing musician.
Yeah.
And he's sort of trained, talented. Like he can read. I can't read music, and
Right.
I'm sort of this. I love to play it. I have
Yeah.
to play it.
Well,
Like,
I mean, you like do dress design. I mean, costume designing and stuff too.
I mean,
And of course, set design. I mean, so in school, when you were in like grade school and high school, did you start doing those things as well, or?
I didn't. I mostly did. I mostly drew, and that was something I did like pen and ink for the most part.
Right.
Just for fun, and I did it like all my notebooks are pretty
Right.
sparse on notes.
Well, I remember the first time I really looked at your notebook. Remember your notebook got
yeah.
lost or stolen, or
Yeah,
talk
it
a little
was-
bit about that. That was kind
Oh,
of
I have this. It's a particular brand of sketchbook that has these different segments of colored paper. So that's the only way I can finish a sketchbook is if it's like I'm almost through with the cream
Right.
chunk. I better keep going, otherwise.
Right.
So I have been using those. I need to get a new one, and I actually haven't been drawing, but I had one that was basically filled, and my purse was stolen, and I realized then that I didn't care about anything else in there. I just didn't notice until it was gone that I was really upset.
Right.
And we were lucky because the bag was, I don't know if they threw it over the fence into somebody's yard after they took out the like $5 that I
right,
had.
right.
But I got it back.
Well, I remember that was the first time I happened to be there. For some reason, I was in Colorado then, and I saw the sketchbook, and I really knew you as a musician.
Really?
I didn't really know. I mean, as a child drawing, but I didn't really realize the level of your artwork until I saw a sketchbook.
Thank you.
Which I was blown away. I mean,
That's
just
nice.
it's the realism mixed in
The mania?
with it's realism mixed in with like Ralph
deranged.
Steadman somehow thrown in there for good luck.
Oh,
or
that's
something.
a great compliment to me. I
You
love
know.
his work. Thank you.
And that's what I thought of when I saw that. And of course, I showed it to Johnny, my son, and he had you did the album cover for Coyote.
Yeah. That
And-
was fun.
Yeah. The other thing that's kind of funny is when the band played at Coachella last year, you may remember this, somebody came up to them. And
Oh,
they,
the tattoo.
And they had a tattoo of the album cover that
Oh
you...
my god, I know. I don't know how to feel about that.
That's what I'm saying, as
I
an
feel like
artist,
it's
is that like...
No, I'm flattered, but I feel badly for them because I don't think it makes a great tattoo. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
No, well, I'm sure if that person's watching. You look great. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll only show the tattoo, we don't show their face.
Oh man, permanent, very permanent.
But it's amazing. And then even with Terraplane Sun, you also did that illuminated sign that you cut out with the jigsaw. It's like amazing, the
Thank
stuff
you.
that you can do.
That was a fun experiment. I actually, when they asked me to do that, I said yes, but I didn't really. I had kind of a game plan. I was
Yeah.
really relieved that it came together.
Well, I mean, I'm just some of the things that you've done signs for other people too.
Yes, I've done some more since then that I've enjoyed. I did one for myself just for our
Yeah.
merch table, smaller. I'm doing one right now for my friend's band Burroughs. They have an EP release. So
Yeah, it's kind of a lost art. We were talking
Yeah.
about that before with like the Beatles drumheads I have here, how they just would
Amazing.
go to right next to the music store was a sign painter. He had a
Yeah.
shop, and his thing was like putting, doing the lettering
Yeah.
on your door, on the glass of your door of your office.
an archaic art.
Yeah, and the bands would just go there and to get their drum heads done and whatever, their signs.
It's cool.
One thing I wanted to get in with you is, everybody's musicians. It's a confusing time in music
Yeah.
because there seems to be no real business model.
It's true. Yeah.
I mean, in my day, the business model was payola, but at least there
Right.
was a business model. I mean, you wanted to be signed to a label because the label had the people that knew who to pay to discharge to
Yeah.
get you on. They had the rack jobber to make sure that your album was displayed in the music store. But now there's no music stores, and the whole
is-
thing is different. And it's really interesting, your entrepreneurial side, how you have your own, of course, your own band, but your
Yes.
own nightclub sets. I mean, it's amazing all the
Thank
things you've
you.
done. And I'd like you to talk a little bit about how
Oh, yeah.
you've gotten into all these different things.
Well, I mean, I feel really lucky that I have this storefront in Echo Park that is the result of my generous grandparents starting a college fund for me when I was born, and then I didn't go. So now I have this space, and it's a converted butcher shop that starting last January, we've been throwing a monthly show for my band because we wanted to do a full-length record, but nobody knows who we are. You know, it's sort of
Yeah.
like, how do you justify that if, it's typically you do an EP
Sure.
now.
No, it's all about now anybody can make a record
Sure.
in their closet,
Yeah.
but how does anybody know it exists? That's
Right,
the issue.
exactly. So we wanted to take the promotion part of it, put it on our terms, and make it so that it was drawn out over the year. So there's 12 songs on the record. It's 12 shows. We're coming up on the second to last one this Saturday. I can't believe it.
Wow.
And then with the space that we had, we realized, well, we can take this, make it basically on our own terms. How do we want to sound? How do we want to look when we're playing? A lot of venues, you go and you think that they would be set up for the music to sound and look great, but they're not. There's weird, it's like
Right.
that's what you're presenting, but it's somehow not always that great, and it can be a real bummer. So we tried to create just sort of an atmosphere that was intriguing and
Well, it's
that's
great.
been-
One thing that's really funny and great to me, as you said, it's an Echo Park. You took over this meat market and
Yes.
basically took it down to the studs and redid it. But you kept the name Vegas Meat Market, the sign
I
there
love
too.
the sign.
It's
yes.
great.
The sign has that smiling cow on it. The cow doesn't know what the sign says.
Right. And
The
all
cow
the,
has no idea it's a butcher shop.
Sure, but just Vegas Meat Market, especially,
Yeah.
just all the crazy connotations about, people going to meeting
Sure,
places, the meat
totally.
market and everything else. Anyway,
Yeah.
but it's fantastic. Of course,
you.
it gets back to some history we have where your father and I in college
know, it's-
started a club called Emergency,
So
and
cool.
which your father basically built by hand, again, taking the thing down to the studs. And
The keyhole entry, right?
right.
I
And
love
also,
ends.
you'd enter through the roof. We had a light show.
What?
We had a light show that was suspended from the ceiling, and to get it, you could either go up a rope ladder to get where if you're running the light show,
Okay.
or you could enter from the roof. But anyway, it's just interesting because I got and the club was called Emergency,
Right.
and in Washington D.C. and it just was interesting going to Vegas Meat Market because I got such an emergency vibe
I'm
from
so
it, especially
happy
going
to hear
upstairs
that.
to where the light and the sound guys are.
Yeah. I think it's it's a weird modern version of that. There's no oil pan projection or
Well, but there is projection.
But there are projections.
But there are
That's where
projections there.
Our laptops up there.
Yeah. I was great to see, the band presented there with the projections behind
Yeah.
it. And it was really a true multimedia event, but it was really well put together, well planned.
Thank you.
It told a little bit about, you have a playing card for each
Oh,
song. You had them
yeah.
hanging on
Right.
clotheslines.
Those are so to sort of go along with the year of shows. My old guitar player had this collection of Elvis trading cards, and I think they printed in the 70s. They're really corny and
Right,
they're
right.
funny. It's pictures of Elvis, and on the other side there's an Elvis fact, like, did you know Elvis made pink and black fashionable, or
Right.
whatever. So I scanned them and took the basic design elements like the frames and then sort of replicated the back design with our band. It has the link on it so that you can preview the song. So the songs aren't released, but if you come to the show and you get a card, you can get a
Yeah.
sort of preview to what we're going to be releasing, I think in February.
It's neat though because you walk into the club and there's little clotheslines with these cards clothespin to them,
Yeah.
and it's just a cool thing to have.
Thanks.
So how are you putting this all together? In other words, you've got your venue now is
Yeah.
like you've got your own venue for your band to play,
I know.
and so it gives this whole thing about
Where's it
pay to
going?
play and the
Yeah.
whole. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah,
maybe.
no, I think it's been really great. I mean, we've wanted to have a place, like I said, like where you looked and sounded good, where it was fun to play. It was a good environment. Like you felt like you were participating in something. So all the bands that have played with us, because each show we have 2 other bands on the bill, they've really enjoyed playing there also. And I want to, my goal is to keep it going as a community arts space by turning it into a nonprofit. So I'm working on that now with this law firm in the Valley that specializes in it, and I'm hoping that by early 2016, this next year, I don't know what
Yes.
year it is.
Well, God knows when this will air. Anyway.
Right, that I'll be able to have that set up and I can keep going with it because I want to keep doing shows, and I'd like to maintain it as a space with no cover,
Yeah.
so that the venue is what draws you, and then you're able to see bands that are just starting.
Yeah, because that's the catch-22, of course, with bands, is that the first thing when you book a band, they want to
What's
know
your draw?
what's your draw. Well, we're a new band.
Yeah.
We don't have a draw. Well,
So how do you start?
so how do you
get
start?
a draw? Yeah.
So this is, you're just trying to circumvent this whole aspect of it.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, just because if it were me, and I know like that's an experience I had when we were starting, it's really frustrating. And I have so many talented friends that need just a venue. And so I have it. So let's make it useful. I think it'll be good. if I can keep all my ducks in a row.
Yeah, but it's great though, because besides getting your own thing together in terms of a business model, you're actually empowering other bands to play too.
Hopefully, yeah. I'd like that to be the case.
So in terms of promoting, how do you handle that aspect of it?
I mainly use Facebook, which I hate using Facebook, but it's such an effective tool for bands and for keeping in touch with people that you need to send invitations to or keep them up to date.
Yeah.
Social media is really effective and can be very time consuming, but it works out.
Yeah, I was looking at one of the animations you did, the video animation.
Oh, right.
It was really fantastic, and we'll show a little bit with the link so people can see it.
Okay.
The
so
one
funny.
with the brothers. I forget what the name of it is now, but it's the one. The thing I like is when the spine turns into a piano.
Oh, yes.
Keyboard, but it's a fantastic animation. And again, it's different than it's old school animation.
It stop frame, yeah.
Yeah, it's not it's not graphic animation, computer animation.
Shoddy stop frame.
Well, but I mean, but it's great because it's great to see someone taking the time to do a stop frame animation, and it really has a fantastic effect. I mean, you ever think about using that with your own music?
I'm gonna try some more animations, hopefully with a better camera.
Yeah. You think about doing more acting? I know you did that movie, Happiness Runs, with Andy McDowell was in that.
Yes, that was a great experience.
You're brunette in that one.
I am.
Rachel.
Well, do you know that so my friend Hannah Hall, that was the other lead, she and I grew up together, and weirdly we look similar.
Huh.
But we got cast in that movie totally separately.
Really?
So when I showed up to set, they gave me her lines, and then realized that we looked so similar that they almost fired me.
Wow.
And then instead they dyed my hair black, which made me feel real cool.
Yeah.
But it was great. I think that originally I did come to LA for film, and it was something that I feel really lucky that I got to do that. It was totally a project that I believed in, and it was really exciting and validating to have gotten work. And then after that, my manager, who I was really close with, she retired, and I just didn't really feel like the way that I feel like you have to be involved in pursuing acting to really do it is I just wasn't interested in it. And it sort of relates to the music thing that we're doing, which is that we try to take it back onto our own terms. And with the music, or with the acting reality was, it's just, I didn't feel like I could do it myself. I was like, I just want to keep making things, and I don't want to be waiting around to be.
Right.
So
you're more in control, obviously, of this.
yeah, I guess maybe it is control.
Well, but I mean, the thing of it is that in order to get it done, they have that. The Irish actually have an expression: if you want to get something done, ask a busy person. And it's so true, really. And
I've never heard that. That's really great.
so I got a bunch of stuff I want you to do.
Okay.
But tell me a little bit about Psychic Love, and we're going to hear some songs from you, and your guitarist Max is going to play with us.
Yeah. Well, so I was telling you that music was terrifying to me.
Yeah.
And I had always wanted a band, and I really sort of circled around it. I went to this,
What part of it, if I may ask, was terrifying? Was it performing in front of people, or what part of it was?
that and feeling like because wasn't trained technically that I didn't feel confident in my ability or know that even singing took me a long time to sort of become comfortable singing in front of people.
Right.
The first show that I played with Psychic Love was the first show that I played ever.
Wow.
So it was interesting. I was wondering if I was going to get up on stage and vomit and pass out,
Right.
or if it was all right. And it turns out that it's like the most fun. And every time now it just becomes more fun. This will probably make me a little nervous because it's more intimate.
Well, the Malibu Music Room is
Hopefully you
like that.
can't
That
tell.
really, people
It's a
really
lot.
get nervous here.
Yeah.
But so tell me a little bit about what the music we're going to hear today, because it seems like your music has a lot. You have a lot of different styles in music. Maybe not so much with Psychic Love and different projects I've heard of
Oh,
you.
yeah. I've been calling Psychic Love dream grunge, and that's my made-up genre for it. But that's sort of the sound we have when we have the full band. These songs are going to be done on I'll play acoustic, and Max will play electric, so they'll be sort of pared down, and probably won't seem as grungy. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, maybe dreamy.
Good.
Put you to sleep.
Doesn't take much.
Perfect. Yeah.
If you guys are ready out there, we'll get Max and Laura over and we'll play a few tunes from Psychic Love.
Roses, they come, they go, like money. I know you come, you go. Oh, honey, I used to believe in something. It comes and goes. And darkness folds around me like 10,000,000 colors. If you cannot find me, check the pink parlor. That's where I go. Stories, they buy you time like money. Listen, you blur my mind with honey eyes that used to see nothing. It comes and goes. And darkness folds around me like 10,000,000 colors. If you cannot find me, check the pink parlor. That's where I go.
This is Red Sun, Max Harrison on guitar.
A violent streak and restlessly your wicked wild and funeral smile, even if it's wrong. I want it all. I wanna feel everything under the red sun, the red sun, a pistol grip and close to strip, a pure new light, 95 miles, even if it's wrong. I want it all. I wanna feel everything, but my head is an empty house. You broke in, you're walking around, picking up my stuff and putting it down. You're putting me down. And I don't mind my time spent on the outs, hanging around, hanging around, hanging around. Even if it's wrong, I want it all. But my head is an empty house. You broke in, you're walking around, picking up my stuff and putting it down. You're putting me down. And I don't mind my time spent on the outs, hanging around, hanging around, hanging around, under the red sun, the red sun.
I want to thank my guests, Laura Peters and Max Harrison, Psychic Love, for coming down to the Malibu Music Room, and we'll see you next time.